welcome to all of you at the valedictory session of the 4th International Conference, Intelligent Engineering and Management, ICIEM 2023. It gives me immense pleasure to share that under the umbrella ICIEM 2023, we received a total of more than 200 papers in IEEE and Springer Conference, and numerous cases in the case conference. We had meticulous presentation of papers and cases running on both days under the supervision of session chairs from the Case Center UK and IEEE Women in Engineering UK and Ireland section affinity group. Dr. Nagma Sayed from University of West London, Professor Elsa Arcott from UCL, and Ms. Monica Jabber from Queen's Mary University of London spearheaded the IEEE session in UK, London. I cannot forget to mention the great zeal of the study abroad program students who have participated with a solid appetite of learning and delivery. So before I go ahead with introducing you to anyone else, I would like to have a huge round of applause for yourself, dear students. It gives me a delight to call upon Dr. Luminita Basu, who is the principal, Amity University in London, to please come over here on the stage and address the audience.
There was no part of the program. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the second day of our conference. Well, actually, I was not part of the program, but I want to thank you all for making your time and make the contribution to such an incredible event, which was organized by my colleagues and Dr. Garinda Singh. I want to thank to all the participants. Their contribution was invaluable and make this conference a success. Thank you very much for your time, for your incredible work and dedication to research. I would like to thank you again for the time and experience that the keynote speaker are sharing with us. Their incredible presentation for sure will inspire us continuously to challenge any key issue which are brought up in this kind of address. Thank you so much for all of you for making this 2 days incredible for us in a kind of way that we share together all our work on research, we share good practice, and hopefully we connect it to innovate and actually advance our fields of study. Thank you so much, and hopefully we will maintain this habit to have these conferences on annual basis so we can share all the research funding and extend our international collaboration. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Luminita, for your kind words. How may we forget to mention our special guests who have been here from other countries and have been meticulously attending the conference, which extended the 2-day-long event. I would quickly like to take up on a few names who are here as a guest today. Dr. Victoria Bakoji, Dr. Zoltan Eilis, David Sabzo, Chaman Verma from UTIS Laurent University, who are here with us. Dear audience, please give him a huge round of applause. Also, we had many presentations from different countries yesterday, including Japan, Sweden, Ireland, and many presenters from London itself. So some of the presenters who have been here and were played an important role in the conference were Catherine Erasmus from Northern University, Callaghan from University of West London. Before I go ahead with the trail of the conference, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, the Group Vice Chancellor, Amity University, for his remarks. Please.
Thank you very much. It's always a dream at Amity that whatever we do nationally or internationally, it should be research driven, it should be innovation driven. Today, Amity is the largest private university of India with more than 200,000 students and the only education group which has got 12 universities in India and 16 foreign campuses abroad. And it has been possible because of the untiring efforts of the researchers from across the globe who have been supporting Amity for organizing such research events. So please give a huge applause to all the researchers, senior academic leaders, and people from the industry who are part of this very important event. Amity is a brainchild of Dr. Chauhan, who's our founder. And after spending so many years abroad, when he came back to his home country, India, he came with one vision, with one aim, with one mission, that we should be able to create those universities which should be able to give a platform to the students from across the globe. We wanted the world to get the advantage of various wonderful initiatives with some of the top universities of the world they are taking. And at that time in India, there was no private university. There was hardly any private player. And there was a need to have a quality education. So Dr. Chauhan, as a commitment to the entire world, when he came back from Europe, he established Education Foundation. And we started up creating wonderful institutions, not only in India, but across the globe. And you can see visionary founder, Dr. Chauhan, from India coming here. Give a huge applause to our founder, Dr. Chauhan. It was not an easy journey. Yesterday, Lord Bilimoria was saying that it was a very difficult journey, that anyone from nowhere starts up an education group, which becomes one of the largest groups of the world and which becomes the largest education group of Asia. And it was a tough journey, but we are so happy when we come here today in London, in Birkbeck College, our Amity University in London, which is being led by very able Dr. Lumia Vasu as our principal, who's leading all the initiatives at London. And when we see hundreds of our students on study abroad program, on 3-continent program, in our MBA programs, in our BBA program, and also our large number of partners. We have somewhere about 57 universities as our partner institutions, and some of the top universities are here. Give huge applause to all of them. When Dr. Lumi was giving welcome address, she was very right in explaining and saying that what Amity has created in the past many years, in the past 3 decades, very few institutions and universities will be able to do that. And we have been able to do that because of the untiring efforts which the foundation, which Amity Foundation, with Ritnat Belvith Education Foundation, which our founder, Dr. Chauhan, created, and then gave the very able leadership to our chancellor, who himself is a product of London School of Economics. If you look at the international expansion of Amity, you will find that we have got 16 foreign campuses, but Amity University in London was our first international campus. So you can very well understand the kind of passion, the kind of energy, the kind of affection we have for UK. I give a very warm welcome to Professor Stephen Kurmaker, the the Deputy Vice Principal of Education of Queen Mary University of London, a very close friend of ours. Professor Kumar, if you can just raise your hand. With Queen Mary University of London, we have got our relationship. And when he met, he said that we are meeting after many years. Though we are meeting after many years, our friendship goes a decade back. And we can very well see the programs which we are developing with University College London, with you and a large number of our students who have been part of your BS programs, who are part of your engineering programs, your researchers who keep on coming to India, your students who were part of the India Immersion Program, and the UKRI bid, which we did together and we won it. Thank you so very much for making MIT so special. We are really proud. Give a huge applause to him. We have got Professor Naful, Professor of Marketing from London School of Economics. Give a huge applause. With Professor Naful, we have developed a very close bond. He is also our honorary professor, has been on our conferences earlier. With LSE, we are developing twinning programs. One of the top rated researchers, highly cited professor. So when we were organizing this conference, we thought that there should not be a better person than yourself to be here. Give a huge applause to him. We are really honored with your presence. Professor Peter, who is from the University of Sussex. Give a huge applause to him. With Sussex, we have got, again, a very close relationship. Professor Tickle, who was your Vice Chancellor and now who's the Vice Chancellor of the University of Birmingham, is a very good friend. And we developed a very good program with you. Again, we did a UKRI project with you. We are doing a touring program with you. We are inviting your students for our India Immersion Program. And we are developing MS programs with you. I think that I haven't been given to understand that there are 9 students who are already a part of master's program in your university, but we look forward to establish much more closer ties with you. Thank you so very much for coming. Professor Delia, yesterday we had Professor Petford, and the more we talk about how successfully you have been able to bring some of the top universities of the world, we always take your name. Our founder, Dr. Chauhan, has a very huge affection for the organization you are dealing. Our chancellors have also interacted with you. The more we see you at MIT campuses during your tenure in India, we saw the energy with which you led so many brands in India, with which you brought some of the Ivy Leagues, with which you brought some of the Russell Group of universities. And yesterday when we were speaking, you said that you will be flying personally, but great to see you virtually today. Thank you so very much for joining us. We have Dr. Martin Broad, Executive CEO and our CEO consultant, who was earlier the former Dean of the University of Winchester, with whom we have developed many programs. Please give a huge applause to him. As one of the academic leaders of the world who has led various business schools as their dean, we feel so privileged that you are a part of this research event. Thank you so very much. We have with us Professor Shantanu Banerjee, a very humble person, but one of the leading names in research, a professor of finance at such a young age at Lancaster University. And with Lancaster, we have got our program. We do BS program in management. We do BS program in accounting. And Professor Shantanu Banerjee has published in many of our conferences. Great to see you. Give a huge applause to him, please. This was a conference which we organized because of the passion we have for research, the passion we have for innovation. And I remember, and I want to thank Professor Mike Hinchy, who is not well, but is attending this event virtually from UK. For the first time, when we thought of organizing this conference in UK, it was Professor Mike Hinchy who said that if you want to do something in Europe, then choose UK and Ireland chapter along with IEEE to do it. Thank you, Professor Mike Hinchy. We became the first Asian university to organize IEEE conference. And the way you supported it, Amity is always going to remember. Give a huge applause to Professor Mike Hinchy, the president of IEEE UK and Ireland. We will always remember he has been to our most of the campuses, and on behalf of MIT family, we are grateful to him. When we look at our conference with Springer, my thanks goes to Professor T.V. Vijay Kumar from the School of Computer System Sciences of Jawaharlal Nehru University in India, Professor Ruchika Malhotra from the Delhi Technological University, Professor Rizwan, who I can see sitting here from the National University of Science and Technology, and our own Professor P.K. Kapoor, bringing Springer for such conference. And I was given to understand that hundreds of papers which came for IEEE and from Springer, and we are coming up with some special edition. It is because of you people. It is because of the stalwarts from across the globe who have helped us to come with such publication. Give a huge applause to these researchers. Our heart goes to the Case Center UK, which has been able to sign a very impressive MOU with us. Professor Ricky Lester, who has been the CEO of the Case Center. I remember that when we met a year back, we had a challenge that how we are going to produce world-class cases. And Professor Ricky Lester said that we will be very happy to collaborate something with you through which you can help the world to know India and Asia. And this was our commitment to Professor Ricky Lester, that we will be able to publish 1,000 cases. And the time frame was given to us 3 years. Professor Ricky Lester, we are so happy that we have already been able to upload more than 250 cases. Our first conference was in India in Inbush. Second conference is happening today in London. We are having a concluding ceremony. Third conference is we will be organizing just after 2 days in New York. Fourth will be happening in Tashkent in Uzbekistan. Fifth will be in Singapore. And in December, we will be having a gala finals of this conference in Dubai. And by that time, 1,000 cases will be published. Give a huge applause to the Case Center. And I think that all that which we have been able to see, I can see a lot of our Erasmus Plus, if you can just raise your hands. Thank you so very much for coming here. And global community and our study abroad students who are here. I always tell you that the kind of exposure you are getting through your study abroad program, you will never be able to forget this kind of exposure. When you'll go back to India, years later, you will realize that what you have got. Yesterday, one of our students who was very much interested in coming up with his own industry, his own company, he got a mentor from the UK India Business Council. Another student who wanted to create a distillery, he got Professor Dr. Bill Moria as a mentor. And that is a strength. When you travel, when you talk to people, when you are able to meet people, when you interact with the global community, you are able to bring a lot of experiences, which is going to guide you for all times to come. My special appreciation for the team in London, the faculty, which is led by Dr. Lumi, and our own faculty. Please give a huge applause for Dr. Ruchika Jaiswal, Dr. Ajit Mittal, Dr. Amit Pandey, Dr. Shweta Nanda, Dr. Prakhar, and our own Dr. Meghna Sharma, and of course, Dr. Shweta Nanda, who is a master of ceremony here, who have worked tirelessly for this conference. From India, the Case Center conference, which was being coordinated by Dr. Alka Moria, by Dr. Neha Suri, and Dr. Aditya Gupta. From London, we are applauding for all of you who are sitting in India. And our Singapore campus, which has helped us quite a lot under the leadership of Dr. Leon and Dr. Ishwa Murthy, and of course, Dr. Astha Gupta, which is today in Singapore with the 116 students. Well done, Dr. Astha Gupta. And also Dr. Anupma, who is with 19 students in France. We were there. And as you know, that very recently we have signed a MOU with INSEAD, through which we are going to publish 20 cases, which will be concentrating on Europe, on France, and on India. But this is not enough. Fourth conference is just a beginning. We want that we keep on organizing such conferences. We are able to call up leading researchers. We are able to call up the leading innovators who, under your able guidance, are able to create a mark for ourselves. As I always say, that MIT is a young university. We are young, but we are very thirsty. We are young, but we want to make a difference. We are young, but we want that we should be able to make a difference in the world. And that has been the mission for which our founder, Dr. Chauhan, has lived his life, has sacrificed his entire life. And this is a vision with which our chancellors are working, the entire foundation is working, our 200,000 students are working. We want that at the end of the day, the students who are sitting here or the students who are sitting in our all global campuses, whether it's New York or it's Singapore or it's Africa or it's Netherlands or it's Australia or in Canada, we should be able to make a difference in their life. We want that this word should be one. We want that research should have impact, and whatever research we are doing, it should be helpful to the society. And with that passion, we are trying to bring technology into the system. You will find the curriculum which MIT is able to create distance learning programs, e-learning programs through which we are trying to bring the word together. We have always concentrated on AI, on data science, on computing. We became the first one in the Asia to start programs in AI and data sciences, and then involving and integrating them in international business and in our management programs, in our law programs, in our biotechnology programs, in our engineering programs, in our law programs. You will find that there is enough emphasis which we give to the technology. With that passion, with that vision, with that humbleness, I once again thank the global community which has helped MIT to be one of the leading groups of the world. And we will keep on coming to you for your guidance. But thank you so very much for supporting this event. It was such a pleasure to meet.
One? No. हाँ हाँ अच्छा वो
Indeed, behind the brick and mortar lays the core of unrelenting force of visionaries who thought to have a world-class setup of universities, and truly that is Amity University. We feel highly indebted with your presence, Founder President Sir, and feel extremely ecstatic to be a part of the Amity family. Going ahead with the program further, may I take this moment to introduce my audience to Professor Stephen Krummaker. Professor Stephen is enthusiastic leadership scholar with a doctorate degree in organization behavior and extensive knowledge in teaching and working. Moreover, he has many years of higher education, senior leadership experience under his belt and held various leadership roles outside higher education. Moreover, Professor Stephen has worked with 50 plus companies across the world, supporting them to develop more inspirational, passionate, energizing, effective, and responsible leadership. His works includes extensive coaching and consultancy work at the C-level. My dear audience, I would like to have a huge round of applause for Professor Stephen Krummaker, and may I invite him for the address, please.
Namaste. So big welcome into the audience. Big welcome. No, the camera's here. Big welcome in India, New York, wherever you're watching. So my name is Stephen Krummaker. Thank you very much for this really kind introduction. I am Queen Mary University's Deputy Vice Principal of Education. So kind of as a contrast to your research focus, I will speak a little bit about educating and educating in particular Indian students and what we're doing in the sector, but in particular at Queen Mary. So thanks for inviting me. And first of all, to address this distinguished audience, it's great to see my academic friend Gurinder Singh again. And I realized earlier today was 8 years ago when I last came to India to visit you, but we had some online interactions during COVID as well. So congratulations also on a successful conference. I heard it went really well to bridge engineering and management, to focus on research, to bring up these case studies. And I will speak a little bit about case studies in teaching a little bit later. So I decided to speak about education and also kind of a little bit about my institution, because I feel we very much share a similar mission. So Queen Mary University of London is a very values-driven university. We were founded 1765 and with the mission to give hope and opportunity to the poor East End of London. So, and nowadays we've built on these roots to say our mission is to open doors of opportunities for our students here in London, but in particular also for our students who are coming from abroad, who are coming from India, who are coming from so many different countries. And what you can see here, we are a very kind of research intense university. We also got a few campuses around the world, presence here in London. We got 20 schools, 3 faculties, and we are a very, very international university. Opening the doors of opportunities. We not only do this through education, but obviously also through research. Research has opened a lot of doors during COVID. Our colleagues have been at the forefront to work on vaccination and are now kind of also leading in particular on cancer research. So 33,000 students, not quite to 100,000 yet. We are working on that with 5,400 staff around the globe. We are really proud that we have 170 different nationalities here in London and our other presences. And I mean, it's always interesting if you talk about UK universities and their budgets. So we have an income of 630 million pounds, and that's in a very, very difficult financial environment. If you want to find us, we are in East London.
The slides are not moving.
The slides are not moving?
To the ordinary.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I'm moving here at least.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything I can do? Is that fine? So this is where we are. This is when you step out of the Central Line at Mile End. You will find our Mile End campus. And if you look down towards the City of London, on the left, Whitechapel, our medical side, our School of Dentistry, our hospital. And as I mentioned earlier, we got other campuses around the globe. So just kind of a quick introduction, just to show how much we are linked from the mission with where Amity is. We are very much engaged also through a worldwide alumni network, and now focusing on India, we got 2 active alumni chapters in India, and we are planning to grow this in every each of the tier 1 cities. So Queen Mary and India, just to give you an example of how we are working in India and also how we are working with Amity. So we're really, really proud. We are the largest recruiter, it's always a bit odd to say recruiter, of students from India in the Russell Group. And why is this the case? Because we've very early, 1,800, nearly 2,000 students this year who are joining us from India. And I would just kind of go to the next slide just to show you one thing. And that is our growth in intake from India. So we're the blue one, yeah, compared to the Russell Group average. So how did we get there? So it's a real investment into the country because we believe there's so much talent. There's so much kind of which links our 2 countries. So we've opened our own office in India, in Delhi, back in 2012. We started off with just 2 colleagues there, and now we are already kind of recruiting the 6th person. We have a lot of kind of interest, in particular in subjects like business and management, in law, in engineering, and we have a few collaborations. Of course, I've highlighted here our great collaboration with Amity, where we have collaborations, and if you're familiar with university collaborations, like a 3+1 for undergraduate or a 1+2 for postgraduate. And even though it looks tiny, if you compare the 200,000 students that Amity is recruiting, we have 100 students alone who are joining us in London, who are graduates from Amity. Yeah. So, and this shows, for me, is an indicator of a great relationship, but also that we are kind of sort of at eye level when it comes to our mission and what we want to do in the world, yeah, to open doors of opportunities. And this is also kind of resonating here in our commitment to the Resilient Futures India initiatives. And I should have mentioned that we have now over 3,000 alumni in India. So I thought if you invite a professor, I should share something from the classroom. This is a photo one of my students just took last semester when I was teaching, and I'm teaching leadership and organizational change. And on one program in particular, it's a master's program in entrepreneurship and innovation. And this is a program with a lot of students from India. So why is this the case? Because what we've seen, a lot of students who are coming from India, they're coming with work experience. They're coming from work experience, very often from family businesses, and they're seeking to skill up their knowledge, to grow their confidence, but also they seek for some inspiration, how to bring their businesses maybe to the next level. I now have a student where the father is the head of a hospital, and they want to expand. And I was asked, how do you expand? How do you motivate staff? How do you motivate staff to take on initiative, to be more proactive, and to support the growth of the company? So generally, so our students that we are welcoming here from India, so they come from really good backgrounds. They have good degrees. We've seen hundreds are from Amity. They have a good level of English, and they're very, very engaged when it comes in particular, and this is from my own experience, when it comes to innovation, when it comes to think outside the box, creating own businesses, and to be entrepreneurial. So I think this is very interesting. And this is also something that's very much reflected in our programs. We heard it earlier, case study work, case study research is a core element of what we're doing in the classroom, because what students are doing, they're learning from practice, from practical examples. And for example, in my exam, I actually take a case study, and I'm asking students in the exam not to recite knowledge, but to say, just imagine you are the CEO in that case study. You're taking over the company. What decisions would you make? It's very hard to bring this to ChatGPT, yeah? To answer a question from the perspective, through your own perspective, if you would be the CEO of a country. So let me finish by just a few words, what we're planning to do, how we want to further invest in India in the next 10 years. Of course, we want to further grow student intake. We would like to welcome more students at undergraduate level and have them with us for 3 or even 4 years. We would like to have more collaborations, or would like to welcome more PhD students. We are planning to bring a summer school. We have a very successful summer school in London to India, and to, of course, enhance, to further kind of work on our strategic partnerships. And as I mentioned earlier, we want to open alumni chapters in all tier 1 cities. And of course, it's Delhi, Mumbai, and others as well. And to further work on the RFII, and we also think about bringing our engagement in India on some kind of legal legs, and to start up to establish a legal entity of Queen Mary in India. And of course, thank you. And of course, with your national education policy, the new one, we are working in partnership with our friends and partners to support, to help, and also to look like how does it kind of really then map onto the education if students are going abroad, in particular to their partner universities. And on this note, I'd like to thank you again for inviting me. Do we have time for a quick question, or is there a quick question? Don't want.
There's a question.
Is there a question from you guys? From the students, maybe.
Mr. Stefan, can I ask a question, please? Here's the founder president.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. I can't
You are-
see you, but I can hear you.
Your deliberations were exceptionally valuable. You are not a great leader, but also a great professor and a teacher. With your
Thank you.
motivation words, I think it stirs the mind, body, and soul of everybody. I heard every word of you and all your plans for India, 3,000 alumni in India. I think we should have once the function with your alumni at our campus, because they have learned from your university. They must be exceptional, worthy people now. So I would invite you and we'll host it at our campus. So I'm so glad. I have been to your university when I was 28 years in West Germany. Then I visited all important universities of UK. And Queen Mary also I visited, and I was highly impressed that time, this long years back. So I will be very much glad and proud to be in touch with you, because I learned a lot from your lecture. Myself, I learned a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's super kind. Thank you very, very much. And you're absolutely right. I mean, our alumni are our ambassadors, because
Right.
they come, they share the knowledge, they share the passion for education,
Right.
and they're making education grow, further grow. And by that, we're changing the world to the better, as we heard earlier. Thank you very much for your kind words. Thank you.
Great. Great.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Technology is a bit of challenge, but you are live and from our all 16 foreign campuses, our teams, our DDs, they are watching you. So there's a question from our Singapore campus where Dr. Astha Gupta, who is the director of research and is working on number of initiatives. She's saying that a large number of students, as you know, that more than 100 students are already with you from MIT. So she is asking that if the students from Singapore or from India, they come for special programs, are there any scholarships or special fee structure which you will be able to offer to MIT students?
So we have a few scholarships available. So I would need to discuss it with our international office. So I would suggest to your colleague in Singapore to contact me, and I will put her in touch with our international office. And by the way, our international office supported me with this presentation, and a big welcome also, and thank you from Lee Wildman and team, who said they would have loved to be here. Yeah, so please connect, and I'm more than happy just to share our information on scholarships. Thank you.
Stephen, this is a question from one of our vice chancellors.
Wow.
In our last visit, when we visited you, there was some strategic discussion going on at Queen Mary University, as you were saying, that you're trying to open up a legal entity in India. So at that time, I think some discussion was that you are interested in opening campus in campus. So are your plans in opening a campus in India? Any comments? Are you working with MIT also on this project?
To be honest, I would also need to check this with our international team and also with our vice principal for international, who has been leading on that work. I know that there's work going on. I don't know what conversation they had. If they think about partners, their own campus, I would need to discuss it with the team. But yeah, sorry, I couldn't answer this question. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Dr.
Thank you
Gurinder,
very much. Thank you.
Dr. Gurinder Singh, please tell the new policy of the Indian government. They encourage very much with very liberal conditions to have a university campus here with with a foreign university and Indian university. And my aim is that within 1 year, I have to have 5 such collaborations, taking university from overseas and MDST. And they're very liberal rules and regulations. So can you just explain this new policy? There is a special city for that in Ahmedabad.
I will leave.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah, thank
founder. Thank you, founder president. Under the new education policy, there are major 4 initiatives, Professor Stephen, which the government of India has taken. And we are in touch with your team. I visited in January. I was not able to meet you, but I visited and I came to your university, and we are in discussion. But I think one of the major initiatives which Government of India wants to take with some of the top universities in UK is to bring at least 3 to 4 top ranked universities from UK to India. And the government is not only keen, they are giving special incentives for ages. Foreign universities, they were not allowed to open up a campus, but with new education policy, this is now an area where government is inviting some of the top universities to come and establish a campus in India. So under the visionary leadership of Dr. Chauhan, who's our founder, we have given a proposal to the government that we will be supporting any top university which is coming to India to establish a campus. We strongly believe that time has come up where where infrastructure should not be a constraint. So rather than only investing in infrastructure or reinventing the wheels, we would like to offer our support to some of the top universities of the world if they want to come in India. And that is why we were discussing with your university that if they're coming up and if they want to open up a legal entity, we will be able to support. Government has given special concessions under the gift city, where they are offering a lot of incentives. That is from the government side. The other major change which has happened under the new education policy is that now the foreign universities degrees, they can be offered in India. As you know that more than 100 students from MIT institutions, they are already studying in Queen Mary University of London and in the University of London. And we feel so good that they are part of your system. But there are thousands of students who want to get quality education, which they have not been able to get because of the high cost of the education in Europe, in USA, or in Australia and other parts of the world. The idea of Dr. Chauhan is that we should be able to make education economical. Whatever we did through Pan-African e-network project about which I was talking to you, we want to repeat that in India. We want that top universities, they should come up. We should be helping them, we should be supporting them, and we should be offering their degrees in India at the most competitive price. So this is the second initiative, that earlier degrees were not allowed, now the degrees can be given. Third thing which under the new education policy is happening is that twinning arrangements. So under the twinning arrangements, now the credits can be transferred. From MIT, there are more than 230 students. This is a figure which I have in front of me, who are doing twinning programs with some of the leading universities. Few students went to Berkeley, few went to Imperial, few went to Carnegie Mellon, few went to Cornell. One student has went to Oxford yesterday. Professor Sumitra Datta, who's the dean of the SET Business School, was here in the conference. So we want that few students, they should be able to do twinning programs. So up to 1 year, 6 months, and that credits can be transferred between the universities. As you know, that Indian universities and UK universities, now they have an agreement that their credits can be easily transferred to your universities, and your students, they can transfer their credits to the Indian university. So twinning arrangements, joint degrees, dual degrees, and most importantly, our Honorable Prime Minister, about which he is very much excited, is to bring some of the top universities in India. And this is our commitment, not only to Government of India, but to the entire academic community, that any university which wants to be part of the ecosystem, MIT will be supporting, and we will try that we should be able to bring quality education to India and to Asia. Thank you very much.
You understand? Our mission in 5 years to send minimum 15,000 students abroad.
Absolutely. And this is, Professor Stephen, this is a part of our founder's vision, that when we started up, this is a story, amazing story. We had no student. And I remember that when we were opening up a campus in London, people asked so many questions that how will you open up a campus? So today, MIT is present in 16 countries. We have kept a very ambitious target about which we are very much committed. We want to send 15,000 students, and rather more than that, we will be able to send. And as a part of this initiative, these youngsters which you are looking at, we wanted to give them dreams. We wanted that they should be part of the UK. And similar initiative has already been taken. There are students, there are 60 students in New York. So just 2 days later, I was telling you that I will be in New York. And Friday and Saturday, we are having similar conference there. I'm coming from France, where 19 students are there. And then I'll be going to Canada, where about 30 students will be there. We have a campus in Tashkent. You saw the director yesterday speaking here. So what we are trying to do is that we are trying that these youngsters who are right now 18, 20, 22, 24 years of age, we should be able to give them dream. We should be able to make them internationally competitive. If not full degrees, they should be coming for 5 weeks long program. By coming here, they will be able to explore. They will be able to see that what a country has to offer, what a culture has to offer. And that is why our founder has kept our target at least 15,000 students out of the 200,000 students which we have, they should go abroad. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, to be the powerhouse of partnerships and spearheading such initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, and a huge round of applause for Professor Stephen Crummaker for his underpinning thoughts, and a huge appreciation for such strategic partnerships, because we understand and will be pride to share that MIT's academic teaching learning resonates with the Queen's Mary University, London. Thank you once again. Thank you so much. Going ahead further in this trail, may I now introduce my audience to Professor Nofael Wilkasson, Professor of Marketing and Head of Department of Management, London School of Economics, UK. Professor Nofael is an expert on the use of economic theory and econometric techniques to analyze substantive marketing problems. Currently, he is undertaking research using randomized control trials and examines the role of managerial capital to access business information tools. He is also involved in research projects in India on evaluating the efficacy of mobile video training of healthcare workers. He has published extensively in leading research journals. He has also served as the associate editor for Management Science and also served on the editorial boards of Marketing Science, Journal of Marketing Research, Quantitative Marketing and Economics, the International Journal of Research in Marketing, and Asian Journal of Marketing. May I now please invite Professor Nofael for his kind address, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chauhan, Dr. Singh. If I look tired, I'm really tired because last night my daughter went to play football and she broke her hand. And so I spent 6 hours in the emergency room at UCL hospital. I got up only at 7:30 this morning. So anyway, here I am. I'm very glad to be here. I think I'm at the London School of Economics. I'm a professor of marketing. I'm also the head of the Department of Management. I haven't been an LSEer in all my life. I studied in Cornell University in the US, then I worked at Northwestern University, Chicago, and then I came to London for 2 years to give my 2 children, who were then small kids, a bit of an experience of living in London, or living abroad. And then we got stuck here, because London is one of the greatest cities in the world, and we've been stuck here now for 20 odd years. So I think it's a great experience to be in London and to be at this event today. I just wanted to, I asked, the person who's been responsible for linking me with Amity University has been Anupama Rajesh. She's not here. I think I understand she's in France today. And so I just want to thank her also, along with Dr. Chauhan and Dr. Singh, for making this possible. Now, I've been asked to talk about management education in general in 10 minutes. Now, that's a bit of a challenge, right? So therefore, what I thought is I'll just give a very brief overview of what I think is my philosophy about management education and how that might fit in with the engineering and other sciences that actually are merging today in a way that I didn't envisage when I was doing my doctorate at Cornell University in let's say the 20th century. Right? So now what we are seeing here, if you look at management, business model of management education is very simple. You have an input, you have a throughput, and you have an output. And the input is the quality of the students, the quality of the faculty, the quality of the professional service staff that run the programs, that administer the programs, the quality of the admissions officers. And then you have the technology and the other infrastructure that help you to deliver a good educational experience. But it's all embedded in some context, right? It's all embedded in some context. And at LSE, the context is that we are a leading social science institution in the world. And therefore, our approach to management education is very strongly rooted in social sciences. Now, if you're at Harvard Business School, they are a very different approach. They are much more managerial oriented, and therefore they have a very different perspective from LSE, for example. So that's the context in which it happens. And I think LSE has a strong history going back in India, where there is the legend has it that when Prime Minister Nehru had an empty chair at the first cabinet meeting, and he was asked for whom is that empty chair? And he said that empty chair is for Professor Harold Lasky, who was a leading anti-colonialist at LSE in the 1920s and 1930s. I'm from Sri Lanka, and lots of our politicians at that time were all educated at LSE under Harold Lasky. And that's what I like to joke, that when while Oxford and Cambridge were training people to run the empire, LSE were training people to challenge the empire. And I think that's probably what we were doing at that time. And so I think LSE has a historically strong origin it has strong connections to India. But we are a campus that we are very small, and we have decided to remain in London. So we will not be going abroad, but we would like to bring the students, as many as possible, from abroad to London to give them a London experience and give them the LSE experience. So we are one of the most international of all universities. We have about 70% international students, and that compares to about 40% at Harvard. And we have about 90% in our management department are international students. So we are a very international university, but in London, and we will, I think, remain in London because of what London has to offer. Now, in terms of management education, as I said, it's in the context, right? And so the quality of the students really matters. The quality of the faculty that you have been able to recruit really matters. And then you have the throughput. Now, the throughput is where you have had fundamental changes taking place in the last 10, 15 years, right? When I started management education, it was all chalkboard and blackboard and things like that. Now it's all social media, digital technology. And what social media done, it has fundamentally changed the approach of the students. Because previously when a student came to LSE, he was like a frog in a well, right? He only knew what was in LSE and didn't know what was going on elsewhere, which worked very well for LSE. But actually now today, the students say, oh, well, why weren't we doing this if they're doing this at Harvard, they're doing this at Wharton, they have friends at Harvard, they have friends at Wharton, they have friends at LSE. And then they say, why aren't we doing this? And why aren't we doing that? All that because of social media. And the social media and technology and the digital innovation has actually changed a lot of it. And that's where I think that emerging technologies are going to come in, where engineering backgrounds are going to be very important for management education, I believe, right? Because you're going to be confronted with artificial intelligence, big data, etc., which is going to fundamentally change the quality and the nature of the educational experience you're going to get. So therefore, if there's one subject I would like you to, as students, to learn is mathematics, right? You learn mathematics and you can learn anything, I think, in life. And so that's one thing that I would advise all students, don't give up on your math, don't get frightened of math, right? Learn mathematics, because that's one of the critical things that's going to be very important in the educational experience in the future. And you don't have to be frightened of big data, right? Big data is, at the end, it's data, right? It's big data, but it's data at the end of the day. So you have to learn how to analyze data, and you have to learn how to present evidence, right? So evidence is very, very important. You cannot make statements without evidence today, and therefore evidence is very important. And that's one of the things that I will strongly emphasize. So that's one of the inputs on the throughputs, and then you have the outputs. Of course, the output is the quality of you guys when you graduate. And Amity University has done an excellent job of training you guys so that you take some inputs and then transform it through the throughputs into outputs. And very soon you're going to be the output of Amity University, and you're going to carry that flag forever for your life, right? So you have to live up to that, and I'm sure you will. And that's an important part of the training. Then, of course, there's the faculty output, and the faculty output is where the research comes in. Right now, research today is much more challenging than in the past. Your research today, everybody who funds research wants it to be rigorous, wants to be original, and it wants to be relevant. Right? So it should be rigorous, original, and relevant. And the key thing is the relevance part of it. Right? And that's why my research, I have now transformed my research quite late in my life, if I might say, is to do work in Africa, right? So what I have done is most of my research is now focused on Africa. Previously, as you described, my research was focusing on econometric work and building models to estimate price elasticities and things like that. You get a little bored of that after some time. And you want to do something that will actually impact people's lives, right? And that's what I think we have been able to do in the kind of research we have done in Africa. So what's the main thing we have done in Africa? We have worked with micro entrepreneurs in Africa and helped them to do better, right? And that model is it's a highly portable model, right? So I've been in talk with institute of directors in Mumbai and others, where you find good managers in India who can actually help the other colleagues. So what we did was we tested a model of remote volunteer coaching, where we had actually we recruited about 500 coaches from all over the world. We recruited about 1,000 entrepreneurs in Kampala, and we matched 500 with a coach and 500 randomly assigned to a non-coach, and they had the control group. And the coaches actually helped these guys to interact over Skype for 6 months, understand the business, build the trust, and then help them to actually do better. And that's a model that I think we can translate to anywhere in the world, including countries like India, where you have excellent managers, but you also have an entrepreneurial sector that's really short of managerial talent and skills. And that's something I think we can actually easily translate into your context in India, in anywhere in the world, and even in Chicago. One of my co-authors at the University of Chicago. And in Chicago also, there's lots of firms that are very small. They don't know really what they're doing. So we have this talent that we have actually recruited managers from various organizations who interact with these entrepreneurs and actually help them do better. And we try to say model in Rwanda, but unfortunately, Rwanda is a francophone country, whereas Uganda is an anglophone country. So our consultants were from not from the francophone world. So what we did was we tested a model of remote volunteer data. So we collected their data, we processed them in the cloud, and we sent them back some simple dashboards. Say last month your profit was so much, your cost was so much, your profit went down because your cost went up. We didn't give them any advice. We told them that, and we asked them if they can actually do better. And in fact, they did. And I'm sure those things also translate into the Indian context. And I would like to look into that and then help you to implement such things in India. All right, so with that, I think my 10 minutes is up. I think I just want to thank everybody here. I want to thank the students. I want to thank the faculty. I want to thank all the guests here, Professor Dr. Chauhan, Professor Singh, everybody here. Thank you very much. And then thank you very much for having me here. And then if you happen to come to LSE, please come and see us. It's a management department. We have a new building there. And so you can come and visit us, and please do drop and see us at London School of Economics. We're not very far away from here. We are in the heart of British socialist, right, Bloomsbury. And so this is where everything started, and everything will continue to be happening. All right, thank you very much.
Dr. Lawfell here is founder president. One word from me. I will pray for the fast recovery of your daughter. And
Okay.
secondly, am I clear? I'm audible, sir?
Yes, you are.
So it is really great from her that in this state of serious injury, she allowed you to come to here to attend this online or whatever you're doing. So what I will do, please tell them that founder president invite you both sisters from door to India, and they will be my personal guest. We'll take care of everything, because her this understanding that after 6 hours of your treatment with her, she could have told Papa, you remain with me. I am very painful. So my invitation to her, and I'll pray for a fast recovery. When he was studying in engineering in West Germany, there were 2 students from Sri Lanka, and they were highly talented. So since then, I have a very specific love and affection for your country, Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, I also have an affiliate to India, because my daughter is working for Bacardi in India. She's the marketing director of Bacardi in India. So she's based in Gurgaon.
Okay.
And so now she's been there and she loves it there. And she's not going to come back to London for a few more years, I think. All right. Thank you very much.
When I invite her to the campus, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Extremely grateful to you, Professor Nopel, and we highly appreciate your time and the given circumstances you have managed to attend our conference offline. Before further ado, I'd like to go ahead to introduce my audience to Professor Peter Fussey, Director, School of Engineering and Informatics, University of Sussex, UK. Professor Peter has been at the University of Sussex since 2016, and since 2022 is a full-time professor. Now he deals with thermofluid mechanic research group, and his current research interest includes thermal systems, battery vehicle, energy management, model predictive control, optimal control, data analytics, and modeling. Prior to Sussex, he has worked for over 25 years at Ricardo UK, an engineer consultancy where he led the control department for over 10 years. He has the experience of developing hybrid and electric vehicles. I'm sure my students would be highly interested in this domain. He has done his degree from University of Oxford and MA from University of Cambridge. I may now hereby invite Professor Peter on the stage, please.
Okay, thank you for that introduction. Nice to see you all. Good to see a full lecture theatre with lots of interested people. My name is Peter Fussey, as you've just heard, and I'm from the University of Sussex, which isn't in London, just to make a change. We're down on the south coast near Brighton. So if you fancy a trip out to the seaside, come and see us down by the sea. My subject today is engineering a zero emissions future. So it might be slightly more technical than, or more engineering based than the previous presentations. So hopefully that's interesting for you. What's happened here? Okay, it's scrolling. There we go. So as you heard, I've been at Sussex since 2016. And before that, I worked in the automotive industry as a consultant. So I worked across many different companies, and including several Indian companies. So I had the pleasure of visiting a couple of times to Bangalore back in a decade or so ago. My background has been in engineering. I started off in noise and vibration, moved to engine control, emissions control, and then hybrid and connected vehicles. And really my specialism is control systems. So I'm a technical specialist in control systems, which are essentially the computers that run the cars and the trucks that you see on the roads today. So today, what I thought would be good is to focus on the skills needed for engineering a zero emissions future as we move to remove all of the emissions from their transport and also the rest of our lives. No, it's funny, this page up. Here we go. So at university, as you know, I'm a fairly new academic. I've only been there since 2016. What we have done at Sussex is we have a program which you can see on the right-hand side, which is called the Formula Student. Have any of you heard of that program? Yeah, a few nods. So essentially what we do is build a car like this one here. This was last year's car. Every year we build a new race car that is electric in this case. So running at about 400 volts. The battery is about 100 kilos, 800 cells in the battery. And we build this car and then race it against all the other universities at Silverstone in the summer. So there's about 100 different teams all take part. It's a great project because it covers all different aspects of automotive engineering, and it's a great platform for developing those skills. This introduces the message that I would like to dwell on today, and follows on from Nafel's comments as well, in that the flexibility of engineers depends on knowing the fundamentals. So you need to know your maths, you need to know your thermodynamics, you need to know your electronics at a very fundamental basis. And then you can apply that to many different aspects. And I thought I would illustrate that with just a few words from my experience. So I started off as a mechanical engineer, and I was developing the sound and the noise and vibration in vehicles. So I was looking at making the car sound quieter, or in some cases sound more sporty, which was always good fun projects. So I spent maybe 7 or 8 years developing the sounds of cars. And then we started moving towards more hybrid and electric vehicles. So I became a software and electrical engineer developing hybrid vehicles in about year 2000. So for the next 15 years or so, I developed the electronics, the control systems within cars. And that's quite a good topic because it allows you to understand the mechanical systems and then develop the software at the same time and bring those together in a electrical system, a control system. And then more recently, with the move to electrification, you might be surprised that I've become more of a mechanical engineer again. And the reason for this is electric cars get quite hot in certain spots. So they get quite hot when they're accelerating hard. You get a lot of heat coming from the motors and the batteries, and you need to cool them down. But you also want to make the cabin at the right temperature. So you need to make sure it's cooled and maintain the temperature of the cabin as efficiently as possible. Because with an electric car, you don't have a nice big engine to keep you warm. You have to actually generate all of that heat from the battery, which means that you can't go as far. So unfortunately, if it's cold, your car won't go as far. And we need to try and minimize that effect. So just to illustrate that a bit further, I thought I'd just describe one or two aspects of battery development. So here you can see a number of images. And if you look at a battery in a normal electric vehicle nowadays, there are maybe 3 areas. You've got the cells, the modules, and then the pack itself. The cells are the individual batteries that you stick together. So in our Formula Student car, we have about 800 cells. And for that, you need to understand chemistry, obviously, the core chemistry of the batteries. But you also need to know how to manufacture these. So that's quite a precision topic. You need to have very clean rooms, cleaner than most hospitals probably, to actually build and make the batteries. Supply chain is really important at this point because we're talking about rare earth metals. And at that point, we want to try and improve the amount of recycling that can be done. As we move on to the modules, we stick a number of batteries together, a number of cells together to give us a module. And that module now has things like sensors to measure temperatures and voltages. It has diagnostics to check if there's any issues or any faults. And again, we have manufacturing coming in where we need to actually attach wires to each of the cells. So it's quite a difficult task to actually attach the wire to the cell. And there's a lot of work in terms of laser bonding and laser welding to do that. But it would be nice if we could get rid of that and be able to just use maybe some adhesive to actually attach the tabs to the cells, because welding is difficult to recycle. Manufacturing, again, comes into play where you've got lots of robotized assembly of the modules. We then move on to the pack itself. And the pack, we start to think about things like thermal management. So here we've got fluid simulation in the middle there. You can see the flow of liquid going through the battery pack. And we need to then optimize the cooling of the battery. We have energy management. So a little illustration here where you have the car using sat-nav information to then pre-program the charging of the battery, ready for fast charging. We have cell management. So batteries don't just tell you how full they are, you have to work it out. And that is quite a difficult algorithm, but it's quite often based on data science and AI to actually understand what the cell state of charge, it's called, or the state of health of the battery. So if you look on your iPhone, you'll see state of charge. You're probably familiar with that these days. But you also get a health warning as well. And it's those algorithms to actually predict that is quite a key area of battery development. And then finally, you've got these packs, which are lots of modules put together that become integrated into a vehicle. And this will be mechanically, hence the crash test here. We need to make sure that the battery is safe in the vehicle and withstands the crash test. So our mechanical friends can still do lots of crash analysis and CFD, CAE analysis. And we also have electrical integration. So we need to make sure that the battery can talk to other elements within the vehicle. So it tells the motor, I can give you this much power, and then it will manage that on a reliable basis. So just a brief snippet there. I think I only had 5 minutes, so hopefully I haven't overrun. What I wanted to do was illustrate that there's many different multidisciplinary opportunities in engineering. And it's very exciting to be able to pull in experts from different areas and then combine them together to give our zero emissions future. I would like to emphasize that the fundamentals are always key. By having the fundamentals, you can then be flexible and move on to different topics as your future develops. When we started our careers, we didn't necessarily envisage becoming a chemist or an electrical engineer, but because we know the fundamentals, we can apply ourselves to those challenges. And finally, I'd just like to thank everybody for coming together at conferences like this, where we can actually talk with a wide range of engineers and other professionals to actually get a wide range of experiences and learn from each other. So thank you very much for listening, and any questions?
Questions from any audience? Yeah, there's a button. Please.
So yes, so the Formula Student cars are scaled down, but they still have to fulfill all of the safety processes, the development processes of Formula E type competitions. Then the actual production cars are, again, they're not necessarily prototype, but then they go through to the production processes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank
you very much.
Huge round of applause. Thank you so much, Professor Pasi, and there are lots of engineering students out here. I'm sure this delivery would be an exciting thing for them. Well, the Indian value system believes in the showers are blessing. May I have this privilege further to invite our visionary, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, Honorable Founder President, Ratnan Ved Education Foundation, for his kind words, please.
I'm very proud to be here. I attend many conferences in India and overseas, but I would say this is one of the most important conference for my students, researchers, faculty member, and also for me, myself. I first of all give my compliment and appreciation for IEEE that Professor Mike Engel and Professor Nagam Saeed, they were kind enough to cooperate with us, sponsor this conference, and really it is a very, very useful conference. And the topic also, intelligent engineering and management, is a very apt topic. Secondly, I will appreciate my students. My students, you are very fortunate and lucky to attend it. This can become a game changer for your professional career. Because I always say that every student, from my 2 lakh students should go overseas. What I am today, I would have not been so if I would have not spent long years in West Germany and visited dozens of times UK industry and otherwise for research and innovation. I was head of the research and innovation department in an international conglomerate in West Germany. One day I was flying back from London to Frankfurt, and near me one gentleman was sitting, and during the conversation, he told me, I'm going to West Germany. I told, what is your mission and aim? He told, we have developed a project and innovative idea, and we want to get it manufactured in Germany. So I could see that how important is the collaborative arrangements for one strength of one and strength of other. Dr. Gurinder Singh, the next my appreciation to you, you always do miracle. You always do things which nobody else can do. Such a great person, such a great universities you are invited. I see that each one of the university, a lot can be done together. And I would request you, Dr. Gurinder Singh and your team, to make very soon a concept note, what can be done in which areas with each one of the university. There are so many ways. And I think when we put this on a paper, I must tell to all my students and everybody, people ask me, what is the secret of your success? I always say success by compulsion. Now, if I'm telling to Dr. Gurinder Singh that make a note, and so that we can collaborate with each university for the mutual benefit, for the mutual progress and development, I think then Gurinder Singh will be compelled to do it, and I will be compelled to do it. So I feel very fortunate that such great universities have come here in the participate. And I heard with great interest to Dr. Stefan Krummacher, and also Professor Nafel, and also Professor Peter Fussi. These lectures were really so eye-opener, so useful that every student and every faculty member from us will really very much benefit from them. So I would say that this is a conference which we should really make some plans, and we should make some concept. And my idea is to combine the best of the East and best of the West, because we have a lot of collaboration with the UK universities. Many of the named universities which you are here, I have been visiting, and our Chancellor, who spoke yesterday, Dr. Atul Chauhan, the president of the whole foundation, after finishing his IB in West Germany, he started his studies in UCL and LSE. And therefore, I think Professor Nafel, he must have met you because you are long years there. And Atulji started in, I think, 1990 or 1991, his couple program, Engineering and Management and Economics in UCL and LSE. And I know that this learning there has totally made him so capable that today he's regarded as one of the most important leader globally in Emirates. This university has been regarded, Emirates University Tashkent, the best private university in Emirates, and this is also under the leadership of Dr. Atul Chauhan ji. So I would say today a lot of avenues have been opened here, and a very large number of Dr. Gurinder Singh from my 12 universities, from my overseas campuses are attending it. I am constantly keeping with them in touch. The persons, those who should attend, they are all sitting and listening it. So this is a great achievement, great positive thing. So I will not take much time. I will say wonderful. I thank to everybody. And I think this will be, student, I tell you, this will be, again, I repeat, it's a game changer. Now you can put today on a paper what you want to achieve, because after attending this conference, you will achieve any dream, any aspiration. And if you don't achieve, that will be my mistake, Gurinder's mistake. So I think we are fortunate. Once again, my appreciation to all those who are here, and we should now keep constant touch with you. Please visit India, and we will send our delegations to your universities to have more exchange of students, because as I told, my 2 lakh students should have foreign assignments. study abroad program, 3 continental program, and many other programs. And the same we want to do. The most important is the government policy. Government, as I told, one university from overseas, one from India, and they are very liberal in that. And Dr. Sundar Singh told the top universities, but for this combination, the top word is not there because they know that MIT University would select the right universities. And my mission to have 5 such collaborative programs very soon, because that is such a wonderful policy. And I think my people will very much. Dr. Lumi, you are exceptional, incredible, you say. And she has so many virtues, loyalty, hard work. And I always feel so proud upon her that she's looking after this campus and also has made our research base in Romania. And I think with her presence in London, we can achieve anything and everything which MIT would aspire for. My thanks and my congratulations and my blessings to all. Thank you.
This was our founder, Dr. Chauhan, and for the international community who is sitting here, I'm taking your permission, Master Ceremony, to share a few experiences. The very humble introduction was given to Dr. Chauhan, but he is a living legend in India and in Asia. And when we travel, a person who came from the industry, and when he came to India at that point of time, the biggest challenge which was in front of the India was that how we should be able to bring change into the education system. I remember the 3 continent program where many of the students, and yesterday you saw alumni speaking, and one of the alumni who is now the UKBC chairman and is contesting election, Taha, he was in the first batch. Then the program was being conceived. It was very important at that point of time that person is able to understand that what internationalization means. There were restrictions at that point of time. AICTE, UGC, they were talking quite a few things that no, there should not be mobility of the students. At that point of time, Dr. Chauhan, the founder of MIT, thought that internationalization is very important. So we created a program where the first part of the program can be in India, second part of the program can be in London, third part of the program can be in US. And we were not having any university at that point of time. But it was this vision that why a person should be confined only to one continent or to one country. Today, under the new education policy, it's a household thing. Government wants that people should go abroad. But a lot of universities, they are having collaboration. But this was the vision 27 years back of Dr. Chauhan to create such a program, visionary program, which can give opportunity to the youngsters who can go abroad and can become a success story. So yesterday, when you heard your alumni, all of them, I think 40% of them who spoke to you, they were the product of 3 continent program. But this is the vision which Dr. Chauhan brought. Second big thing which he brought was that he was extremely successful in Europe. With more than 6,000 Germans working under him with billions of dollars of turnover. But what he thought was that if you really want to become successful, you need to give back to your country. And that is what I think the major contribution of any researcher is. And all of you, the leading researchers who have spoken today, yesterday, we have seen hundreds of you. You are having no impact if your research is not for the community. So Dr. Chauhan, though he was very successful in Germany and in Europe, he thought that whatever he has done, it should be able to help the student community. He could have chosen any other branch, but he contributed and put all his energy besides business into the programs, into the universities, which can bring quality education, not only in India, but abroad. He took another challenge when he wanted that he should be able to take education to the other continents of the world. So what he did was, ladies and gentlemen, that we did a project in Africa, about which I was talking to Professor Stephen. This was a Pan-African e-network project, very difficult project at one point of time. And I remember that when Dr. Kalam became the president of India, he took 19 vice chancellors from India. Very unusual president. And when he took 19 vice chancellors to Africa, and almost 50 countries, African countries were listening to him, he started talking. And what he did was that he started with the word that I'm going to give Africa something which Africa is going to remember for decades. And that is what I think that you are doing from LSE, your contribution in Africa. So, and his next sentence was, people clapped for him for 3 minutes, but his next sentence was, but I will not give $1. So people thought, what he's going to give, Dr. Kalam is going to give. And he said that I'm going to give education as a gift to Africa. And European Union chair was there at Addis Ababa. And the president of India invited European Union that, why don't you become a part of this project? People said that we respect you, President. You are a very visionary president. You are a nuclear scientist. You are unusual president, but we feel Africa is not ready yet. And he laughed on the stage. And he came back. Next day, 10:30 in the morning, he called a meeting. He called all the vice chancellors, all IITs. MIT was also called. We were small at that point of time. And he said that I want this project to be implemented. And I remember that meeting because in that meeting, all universities in India out of 1917 said it is not possible. Internet is a challenge. Africa is a problem. And you need to create content in French. At that time, Dr. Chauhan, who's our founder, he came forward and he said, if this is a challenge which is in front of the country, we are going to implement this project in Africa. And we implemented this project in Africa as a part of our nation building initiative. And 80,000 African students, they became a part of this project. So that is a kind of contribution this living legend has made in the field of education. Then we took an initiative that if it's a quality education and if the students from India, they have to be or from Asia or from Africa or from other parts of the world, if they want to do something well, then there has to be mobility of the students. So you saw 15,000 students, we kept our target, but we didn't stop there. We created institutions. We created our first campus, which is now so ably being led by Dr. Looming in London. It was not easy journey. And that very year, a campus in Singapore, third campus in Mauritius, another one university in Dubai, then a campus in Netherlands, then in Abu Dhabi, then all satellite campuses in Africa, a university which is coming up in Canada and in Australia, 175 acres campus in United States of America in the heart of New York in Long Island, other campus in Presidio, and then working with some of the top brands of the world, 417 collaboration worldwide with all the universities and bringing them together. That is a contribution of this living legend. I think that he needs a huge applause. Give a huge applause to Dr. Chauhan.
Not required.
Yeah, I have 20 pages of biodata, but I thought that master of ceremony, with your permission, we should be able to introduce it to the international audience. Thank you.
One word from me, my dear students, those who are sitting there, those who are attending from New York and all over the India, a very large number of students are sitting. I must tell you, after hearing Professor Stefan, you will have no doubt that one can achieve anything what you aspire for. Just to tell you, if you have that confidence that I can achieve, when the unification of East and West Germany took place in 1989-90, I told to my people, I will be the biggest investor in East Germany. They laughed. Many people left me. This is a crazy idea. And I must tell you, because of my determination, I became the biggest non-German born investor. Whole world was sitting there to buy the industry houses. Everything was on sale. Every stone, every brick was on sale. I became the biggest investor, and the government told that we have brought the political stability. Dr. Chauhan from India has brought the economical stability. This is a message for my students. Just dream what you want. I have proven it. I have not read it. I have not heard any lecture. So about the lectures you heard the same. So please aspire for. You can change the world with all these people sitting over here. I think each person sitting over here, I see the faces. I really start respecting them. I see the face of everybody. So my dear student, those who are listening from all over the world, my student, have a dream, and by the guidance of Govinder Singh and his team and others, my vice chancellor are looking, I think you will achieve and show to the whole world by making best of the East and best of the world, you can achieve everything what you like. Thank you, Dr.
Indeed, a great thanks to Founder President, sir, and it's your magnanimity to address to our students and light them toward their dreams. Going ahead further, may I please introduce my audience to Professor Martin Root, the former Dean, University of Winchester, former head of Southampton Business School. Professor Martin, he is the Dean of Business Law and Digital Technologies at University of Winchester, chartered management accountant with extensive educational experience and research interest in governance and performance management in public sector, particularly in higher education. Member of Chartered Association of Business School International Committee, and is also a member of Council and Vice Chair of Council for Chartered ABS, honorary professorship from Amity University, India. Previously, he was appointed, from his past 20 years, he has also worked with University of Southampton and 5 years as head of Southampton Business School, delivering AMBA and AACSB accreditations. The august gathering, a huge round of applause for Professor Martin.
Thank you very much for that very warm welcome, and my sincere thanks to everybody on the organising team here, Professor Gurinder Singh and Dr. Chauhan. It's been a pleasure to be here today. I've been very fortunate over the last 30 years to work in a series of universities that have had some great opportunities of working with India. I know that Amity University is working with the University of Southampton now, but we at the University of Winchester had the opportunity to work with you on a various number of UCARI projects where we were able to bring students from India and from the UK together. I'd like to sort of pause and just reflect on those opportunities that exist, and particularly the entrepreneurial spirit that I see coming from India and from the Indian students. In my time of spending some time in your country, I've had the opportunity to spend some time in not only in Mumbai and Delhi and other parts of India, but also down in Coimbatore. And Coimbatore for me provides the focus of the entrepreneurial spirit that I see coming through. We heard from Dr. Chauhan there about live your dreams, whatever your dream may be, seek it and see if you can deliver that going forward. And that is very much part of the inbuilt character that I see from many of the Indian students that I come across, not only in the UK when they're here to study, but also when I visit you in your country. And reflecting back on some of the things that we've heard about today, we've heard about zero emission vehicles, we've heard about engineering, we've heard about management, we've heard about marketing. And all of these things, if I reflect on what's been said, if I was you, I'd be thinking to myself, I need to be an expert in mathematics, I need to be an expert in chemical engineering, I need to be an expert in marketing, I need to be an expert in all of these areas. And I think what this shows to us is that we don't need to be experts, but what we need to be able to do is bring teams of experts together. And by bringing teams of experts together, which all have the drive and the ambition to do great things, then great things can be achieved. And I see that the challenge for us is perhaps looking at that intersection of engineering, management, marketing, business, etc. And how can we foster excellent research that moves the world forward? One of the challenges we have in the UK, maybe in India as well, is the amount of money that's given into research, into business and management, is one of the lowest funding areas of research in the UK. And the opportunity that presents ourselves there for the business and management researchers is to forge those teams, look for that interdisciplinary research. Where can business and management researchers work with civil engineers, work on projects that deliver zero emissions, and therefore help us drive the economy forward and help us drive benefit for society more generally? By bringing together great universities, we've heard from universities as part of the Russell Group and non-Russell Group universities are here today, we can bring together great minds, great faculty with great students to really drive that economy further and drive those research agendas forward as well. So I think that we've got the challenge, we've got the young blood within the room here today, we've got the experience of faculty staff within the room today, and bringing those great minds together with the entrepreneurial spirit that we see from India helps us to not move things forward in an evolutionary stage, but moves things forward in a more proactive revolutionary stage. So may we think about the entrepreneurial spirit of India and the quality of both India and British education to ensure that together we are more successful than we are by being apart. And I finally reflect on one of the statistics that I read in the British newspaper over the last couple of months, and that's about the population in India. That the Indian population will be the largest population in the world, probably around about mid-time this year, they reckon. So you will overtake China as the most populous country in the world. With that, there is a huge number of young blood, young males and females that are coming through society. What the key ingredient for you to take advantage of is those education agendas, those education opportunities that help you translate that inbuilt culture that you have of that drive and living your dreams, match it together with a great education experience and be successful. Thank you very much.
Dr. Gurinder Singh? Dr. Gurinder Singh? Doctor, yeah, you please announce later on that I've got it both days recorded. Anybody want the link, then they should write to Gurinder Singh or you, and we will send the link, because sometimes it's very important to listen what everybody spoke, each word is, so the link will be available. And now I have to rush to other meeting, but I will later on see on the link what all program is going on. Once again, my appreciation for all those who are present here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presence. And thank you so much, Professor Martin. That was a very nice instinct you left, that only the teams work together and try to bring a productive output. Going ahead further, may I now quickly introduce my audience to Professor Shantanu Banerjee, Professor of Finance, Leicester University, UK. Professor Shantanu is a Professor of Finance and Director of the PhD program at Leicester. Professor Shantanu joined as a Lancaster University in 2005 after finishing his doctoral studies at Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. He specializes in empirical research in corporate finance, and the topics include investment decision of firms, financial choice, product market strategy, etc. His work has been published in journals such as Journal of Finance, Review of Finance, Journal of Corporate Finance, European Journal of Operation Research, and Journal of Business Ethics. We feel highly privileged to have you over here, Professor Shantanu, and may I quickly invite you on the stage, please.
First of all, I must say that I'm very privileged to be invited here, and I want to thank the organizers, Professor Dr. Singh, and the senior administrators. So I come from India. I have studied I have done undergraduate, postgraduate in India, and then I moved abroad. And I know the advantages. I know what, I am a beneficiary of the Indian education system. And I find the topic of this conference very interesting at the present time, intelligent engineering and management. When I was a student, this was a time when the computers were coming up, and there was floppy disks, slow computers, expensive ones. And people initially were thinking that, okay, this is never going to replace humans. But then a time came when people got scared of computers being replacing jobs. And they were, it will have an impact on the employment. And However, what we've seen in India is that because of the education system of India, it helped India to digitalize the world in organizations, companies, and that is because we had a good education system. However, the challenge today is much higher because right now we have much more complex issues. We have much higher developments, particularly AI, artificial intelligence, AI coding. We have, on the other hand, problems of environmental climate crisis. And today, the universities have to play a bigger role because we need to learn, as Martin was pointing out that we have to now go above the AI. We have to direct, we have to train, we have to use the AI. It's not using a computer anymore. We have to figure out how best to use the available technology, the new technology, and the universities have a big role to play. We have a big responsibility to learn, and the students also have to be smarter. They need to be more intelligent. They need to learn at a higher level. And from what we see from Amity University has developed, so Amity University developed from a very small institution. Within 10 years, it is teaching, it is educating hundreds of thousands of students, and it is doing at a level which is at par with international standards. And right now, we are the ones we want to collaborate. We, UK universities, Lancaster University, we want to collaborate. We want to find ways of doing research collaboration, teaching together. And I can only see, I can visualize that this university and in Indian education system will play a big role in the future of future wealth of nations, wealth of not only of India, but internationally. So when there is a technological progress, we can be fearful of that, or we can take it in our stride and educate ourselves in order to make the best benefits of that. And I can see that, you know, our collaborations between UK and in India, UK and India in general, and of course the universities that I represent, Lancaster University and Amity. I look forward to working with Amity University. In fact, I got connected with Amity University only after the pandemic, and there was a delegation from UK, ministerial delegation going to India, educational delegation. So our Vice Chancellor asked me, Shantanu, which university should we go to? Well, I actually did my own research and suggested you should be going to Amity University. So the Lancaster team I went to Amity after that. And we have now started developing Twinings programs. And we look forward to a lot more collaboration and working together in future. Thank you very much for inviting me and honoring me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Shantanu. And it was a wonderful speech delivery. And now may I please invite our dear students to share their wonderful experience on study abroad program. It was a great experiential learning, I'm sure, and there were lots of delivery and output, which was a takeaway from the study abroad program. In fact, the 2 days of 9th and 10th of May of the ICIEM 2023 was a very experiential learning, as we have vivid speakers and profound great leaders who were here on the stage to deliver the keynote address yesterday and today. May I please invite the student to come up on the stage? My dear fellow mates, please applaud them.
So hello, and a very good evening to everyone, and a very good evening to all the esteemed members present here. I'm Payal, and I'm doing BTech Bioinformatics. from Amity University, and I'm currently in my third year. When I arrived here, I was very afraid, and I was very homesick, and I was actually very clueless that I didn't know what to do here. And gradually, I developed confidence. I saw the opportunities the college gave, and I started attending various workshops and university fairs. And then I saw that it's actually quite easy, traveling and attending events and participating. It gives you a lot of confidence. And now I gain the confidence, you know, to actually represent myself. And when I'll go back, I'll take this experience with me to India. And thank you, Amity University, for this opportunity. Thank you to Gurinder sir for giving us so much motivation to work and being so much active throughout the event. And thank you to all the faculty members present here for helping us throughout the session and the time period of our SAP program.
Thank you, Payal. That touched our hearts. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Vaishnavi Iyer. I'm currently pursuing MBA Biotech, and I'm in first year right now. Initially, when I came here, I was way too excited, but little anxious too, because this was actually a good solo trip. Not a trip, but I was solo here. I don't know anyone. Like I was alone, and yeah, and in a new country, in a new culture. But eventually, with times goes, I learned a lot from here. I traveled alone, so it's a lifelong lesson and experience for me here. So thank you very much to MIT University for giving this opportunity to me, and for Gurinder sir also, that he actually believed on us. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Sanskar Tiwari. I am a student of Amity School of Business. I am in my second year right now. And coming here was a really exciting and a really, I expected to learn a lot from here. Because from where we come from in India, my parents have given me things that I don't have to do anything at home. I just go around and sit, and my maid comes, she cooks for me, she cleans the house, and even if she doesn't, I have a robotic vacuum cleaner, I have dishwasher, I have everything at my hand. And coming here, when I had to do everything on my own, do my own dishes, do my own cleaning, that was a really good experience and a learning curve for me. Also, the classes which we were provided here, the 3 subjects, I think they were really helpful, providing us with lots of great examples to learn from. And I would really like to thank each and everyone from Amity, founder, chancellor, and a group vice chancellor, Dr. Gurinder sir. I would really thank you from heart for arranging this for us. And it was a really great experience and very much to learn from here. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I am Dilsehad Singh. So, to be honest, I found the onset of the program a little perplexed for myself. Understanding the to communicate took me a little time, but once I figured all that out, it was very smooth and pleasant experience. It was overall a great and prominent experience for me. I took part in the program for an international experience and global exposure that would help me in understanding which country I would choose for my master's. I wanted to experience an independent lifestyle as well. I would like to thank Dr. Gurinder sir, as I'm very grateful that yesterday I got a once in a lifetime opportunity to meet Lord Billamoria. He is my passion and passionate I am in career. I would also like to thank my faculty for hand-holding and guidance. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice. My dear students, it takes courage to speak from your heart. I really appreciate all my 4 students out here who felt like sharing their study about program experience. I could see the senior professors online who have joined online as Amity takes this honor to confer upon the Amity Excellence Award. We hereby start over by conferring upon the award to Dr. Martin Broad. May I please request Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh on the stage and felicitate the award to Professor Martin. A huge round of applause, please. May I please invite Professor Shantanu Banerjee on the stage. Amity feels honored to confer upon him the Amity Academic Excellence Award. We have been online joined by Professor T.V. Vijay Kumar, School of Computer and System Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University, who have played imperative role in all the collaborations regarding research with Professor P.K. Kapoor and have been instrumental in leading the research through Amity University. Amity take this honor to confer upon the Amity Academic Excellence Award to Professor T.V. Vijay Kumar. Please. Further, we would invite Professor Ruchika Malhotra, who is there online from Department of Software Engineering, DTU, Delhi Technological University from India. Our students have been following her researches, and she again plays an instrumental role in software in the field of software engineering and collaborative research with Amity University under the guidance of Professor P.K. Kapoor. May I please online invite Professor Rizwan from National University of Science and Technology, Oman, and Amity again feels honored to confer upon him the Amity Academic Excellence Award. A huge round of applause, please. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. Gurinder sir, and thank you, Dr. Luminita. And may I please request the guests who are here to please give a warm acceptance speech, please.
Before we announce the award for all the conference, IEEE conference, Springer conference, and case study, may we request our guests to please come on the stage. Let me invite Professor Dr. Stephen Krumegger, please come on the stage. We are indeed honored, and it's a great pleasure to have you here, sir. I'll continue.
May I please invite Professor Nofil Wilkasim on the stage?
Sorry about that. No, I'm all right. Hope the computer's okay.
Dear students, give a huge applause.
Indeed, a pleasure to have Professor Valedictory here on the stage with us. Thank you so much for your presence, Professor.
Please on the floor, please.
Going ahead further, may I please request Professor Peter Persay on the stage. Dear August gathering, a huge round of applause. Yes. Thank you so much, all the key speakers, presenters, my audience, researchers, and my dear students to be here on this moment, on the momentous day where MET feels honored to felicitate all the speakers for the day. May I go ahead further for the awards of the best research papers of IEEE UK and Ireland section. The awards from the best paper for the London track goes to Suha Khalil Saisel from Dubai. And Kalangan Ebojau. Whereas from India track, the best paper awards has been given to Harshvardhan Verma, paper ID 29, and Abhinav Srivastav, paper ID 23. Going ahead further for the Springer tag from London track for Springer conference, the award has been given to Asta Sani, Dr. Poonam Sharma, and Dr. Amit Kumar Pandey on the London track. Dr. Ruchika Jaiswal, Dr. Ruchi Jain, and Ms. Shreya Tripathi, again from the London track. And a special award to Dr. David, who's here. You can say hi to the audience, please. From the India track, the award goes to Ramendra Verma, Babita Bhati, Shilpa Agarwal, and Sudeep Kumar. May I invite Dr. Meghna to go ahead with the case study awards?
In order to take the vision of our group Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, to have 1,000, sir's vision was to have 1,000 case published. It is our humble ambition, sir. Our all 180 students participated in case writing, and everybody has written a case study, a comparative between a UK product and an Indian product. All those who participated, few participated. I'm calling the names of those students. Sanskar Tiwari. Sanskar, can we have you on the stage, please? Yeah, please come. Sanskar has presented a case on a comparative study of two telecom companies, Jio and EE, everything everywhere. I'm so proud to announce Ansh Jain. Ansh Jain, can we have you on the stage, please? Aman Swami. Next in line, Nehal Balhara. Nehal Balhara. Payal Priyadarshini. Siddharth Singh. Keep on applauding. Absolutely, you have been an amazing audience. Next line, Shubham Kumar Singh, Ganesh Singh, Karan Chaudhary. We will request you to please come on the stage, please. That in this process, 5 video cases were also presented in the morning, and the jury judged those. Those cases were presented from India, Singapore, and France, and their certification. Of course, we'll give them e-certificate because they are not here in present. Thank you so very much. Over to you, Dennis.
Yeah.
Three. Karan Chaudhary. Karan Chaudhary, come. Ghaneen Singh, Shubham Singh.
A special thanks to the professors from ITIS Laren University, Dr. Victoria, Dr. Zoltan, David, and Dr. Chaman Verma, who are here with us since the 2 days. And may we please present them the certificate of research paper, a special award to David Sabzo. May I invite the entire team on the stage, please? We'd like to have Dr. Behind this huge success are the people who have burned their midnight oil. It's IEEE team, the Springer team, the case study, both in London and back in India campus. There are also the students who have tried to capture the best from the study abroad program, the 5-week program, by attending these sessions and applying all that through the rigorous presentations out here.
And give a huge applause to those who have been working from all the campuses of MIT and our core committee of IEEE, Springer, and the Case Center. Give a huge applause for all of them. Wonderful people. Many people you don't know, but I would like to put my appreciation for Dr. Parne Verma, who is sitting in India. I think that almost from the last 7-8 months, Dr. Parne Verma, Dr. Vinita Sharma, who really worked very hard. Give a huge applause for her. Dr. Shweta, Ms. Minni Pillai, the Assistant Registrar, and supported by a very able team of International Affairs Department, who's standing right from the morning here. And of course, Dr. Meghna Sharma, who has been helping in organizing it. And Dr. Ruchika Jaiswal and Dr. Ruchi Jain and Ms. Shriya Tripathi, who have been able to organize it, the London track. But well done, Dr. Ruchika. And also for the Springer conference, one of the leading researchers of the world, Professor P.K. Kapoor, who at the age of 82 is working day and night and made it possible. Thank you so very much, Professor P.K. Kapoor. Dr. Nanda, and a very young faculty whom Professor Kapoor is guiding, Dr. Rashmi Mani, Dr. Priyanka Malik, and of course, Dr. Pandey, who has met us here, but was working. And it was not possible if Dr. Ajit Vittal is here. Dr. Ajit Vittal, who was supporting all logistics, was arranging food for everyone, was trying to arrange facilities for the students. And let me tell you, the students, you are really lucky that you are a part of this system. Once again, can I request all of you to please stand? and our leading experts and speakers, if you can just look towards them, give a huge applause and standing ovation for all the speakers. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please take back great memories of this university, of London, and become success stories. Thank you.
I cannot thank enough to all the audience who are here, who have been so patient in being inspired for this 2-day international conference, ICIEM 2023. And certainly it was headed by the top researchers across the world and who was spearheaded by the professors at the India office. Certainly our torchbearer, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, we are highly indebted to you who have helped us to embark upon the successful journey of the ICIEM, which is the 4th international conference in a row. Ladies and gentlemen, that deserves a huge round of applause, please. With this, we go ahead and conclude our conference valedictory today. And I once again thank you all for being a very important part of this conference. Thank you.
We request students to stay back. We'll wait for all the guests to leave first and then